Hi guys, welcome back to our opening day version of High and Inside, as March 31st marks the opening day of the Major League Baseball season, and the Hoosiers had their opening day of themselves on Sunday, Evansville. They were supposed to play a doubleheader over the weekend on Saturday down in Evansville, but because of rain, we're only able to get 4 innings in. And so then they played the final 5 innings of Game 1 and then a second game at Simbauer Field on Sunday. And it was the first time that I got to see the Hoosiers in action this season. Drew went to Indiana State earlier in the season, but I think it was good for both of us and obviously for the fans to finally watch a team that is probably one of the favorites to win the Big Ten this season. But yeah, they won their first game in extra innings, 7-6. Dustin DeMuth with an RBI single in the bottom of the ninth, top of the ninth because they were still the visitors in the first game, descended in extra innings, and then Wes Wilson, the senior, with an RBI that proved to be the winning run. And then the second game, errors really plagued the Hoosiers. They struggled a little bit on the mound. Brian Cordy kind of got rocked in the second inning, allowing 5 runs. And the Hoosiers just couldn't get that late inning comeback. And Drew and I talked to Tracy Smith after the game, and the players really said that the big thing is getting off to better starts, and that's something that they worked on. And then against Northern Kentucky, they were able to get off that good start. Jared Sabrin on Tuesday had a 3-run double with 2 outs in the first inning. And something that has been a huge asset for this team has been stealing bases. And Micah Johnson, Dustin DeMuth have been 2 guys that have done a great job of that. And DeMuth and Johnson were named Big Ten Player of the Week and Big Ten Freshman of the Week earlier on Monday.
Yeah, I think at this point now, Micah Johnson leads the Big Ten both in stolen bases and in runs scored. So obviously the base running is picking up, and in addition to the batting, you're going to get it out of Mike. Obviously, he proved that last year.
Right.
DeMuth, I mean, what more can we say about this kid? I mean, he continues to perform just as well as anybody on the team. I mean, Tracy has said that, you know, if particularly at bat, if there was one guy who he wanted to have at the plate to get that one hit,
bottom of the ninth type of hit, right?
Bottom of the ninth type of hit that could pretty much seal it as a walk-off. And mind you, this is with guys like Dickerson, Sabrin, guys who have been here in all Big Ten, all America.
2 of the players that go down as the greatest
history,
right?
He said that one guy would be freshman third baseman Dustin DeMuth. That's high praise.
And it's been it was a joy to watch him over the weekend, just to see he's kind of a slap hitter in a way. Jeremy Gray does a radio, says he's kind of has a Wade Boggs type of swing, and his arm from third is just unreal. Tracy Smith said on media day it's the strongest arm that he's ever coached, and he's a big kid too. He's about 6'3", and something that has been kind of hurting the Hoosiers in the past couple of days has been errors. They had 3 errors Tuesday against Northern Kentucky, and then I believe had 3 errors on Wednesday against Shawnee State. And that left side of the infield is something that has been a problem. Michael Basil's kind of struggled in the past 2 games. He's hitting the ball well. He had a home run against NKU on Tuesday,
then a triple against Shawnee State yesterday.
So I think one thing that as the Hoosiers go into Big Ten play here over the weekend is going to be that infield. Where do you go? Micah Johnson is a kid who started every game last year at third base. They moved him to second base this year to get DeMuth obviously in the lineup. But if you slide DeMuth from third to short and maybe move Micah back to third, then you could maybe put Michael Basil at second where he's not having to make that long throw. It'll be interesting to see because Tracy Smith did talk about earlier in the year, infield depth is a problem. We saw Brian Ritz, he started the second game against Evansville, but whereas the outfield we've seen a number of guys start out there. The infield, it's really been the same 3 every time. Casey Smith has gotten a couple starts. But Drew, talk a little bit about the Shawnee State game against an NAIA opponent. I think fans looking at the box score would be thinking 12-8. They kind of struggled, but the Hoosiers were able to grind it out. Tracy Smith said it wasn't the prettiest of wins, but it is a win.
Right. They scheduled this game actually before they scheduled the Northern Kentucky game last week. And obviously they were looking to get more work in before the Big Ten starts this weekend. But turns out they got a whole lot more than that.
Exactly.
I mean, the NAIA Bears matched the Hoosiers, arguably one of the top hitting teams in the Big Ten, if not the country. Hit for hit, both teams finished with 14 hits on the day, and they had it tied 6-6 in the top of the 5th. So I mean, the Hoosiers got all they could ask for and more from Shawnee State. particularly on defense. And obviously errors had something to do with it. Hoosiers finished with 3. There was some.
Shawnee State had.
Shawnee State had
6.
Shawnee State had 6, and half of the Hoosiers' runs against the Bears were unearned. So the Hoosiers kind of benefited from similar miscues by Shawnee State out in the field. But as we were saying, I mean, we definitely saw we definitely saw some shortcomings out in the field, not only in terms of errors, but also just in terms of well, I guess from pitching as well. That I mean, Liniger kind of struggled early on with all the hits. I think Shawnee State had 3 in the first, and then
he had 10 hits total. Wow, right. Drew did in 6 innings. And the thing that what I kind of found was a little surprising was Tracy Smith threw 2 of his better pitchers in the midweek. Joey Donato, pitched on Tuesday, and Drew Liniger pitched on Wednesday. And those are 2 kids that were in the weekend series when they went down to Coastal Carolina and down to Texas A&M Corpus Christi for the first 2 weekend series of the year. Mm-hmm. So he didn't throw some of his freshmen or some of his younger arms, or maybe some guys that don't have a lot of experience. He threw 2 of his better pitchers, and so I think it was good for them. The Hoosiers, I know, at the same time, you expect to beat these teams that aren't Division I, Big Ten caliber teams badly, but he did talk about the weather. It was freezing cold. It was actually snowing early on Wednesday morning. So, but I think going into Michigan, I think he got everything that he wanted to work out. You talked to him after the game. Did you feel like he's happy where this team is heading going up to Ann Arbor on Friday?
I think so. I think he kind of mentioned that the guys might have been looking a little bit ahead to Michigan while they were playing Shawnee State. Maybe got them a little off focus. And he did mention the 30-degree wind chill. And Wes Wilson afterward talked about how when he switched out into right field in the 8th inning, the grass was really slick from the
Wilson
snow.
Played great. He was 4 for 5. He was triple away from the cycle.
Right, and his home run really got a huge day at the plate for the Hoosiers going. So, basically, at the end of the day, Tracy Smith said a win was a win, and he's feeling all right heading into Michigan, where I think that we can expect to see a pretty good effort out of the Hoosiers. Yeah. I think RPI wise, IU's 66 in the nation compared to Michigan's 230. So
IU's tops in the Big Ten too.
Tops in the Big Ten. So
I would expect IU to throw the same weekend guys that we saw late in spring break, and even who we're going to throw against Evansville before the rain delay. It'll be probably Blake Monar on Friday, Chad Martin on Saturday, and then the freshman Brian Corti on Sunday. And all 3 of those guys did probably struggle against Evansville a little bit. So I think Tracy Smith would like to see the walks come down a bit. And again, we talked about the IU Airs, but this is still the number 1 fielding team in the Big Ten Conference. So this is a team that definitely I would expect to be the favorite going in the Big Ten season. And they, again, will open up play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Ann Arbor. Next Tuesday, they play Miami of Ohio in Oxford, Tracy Smith's alma mater. And then next weekend, Ohio State will come to town for the Big Ten opener at Sembauer Field. So thanks, guys, for listening. Again, follow us on Twitter at IDS_baseball, and we'll have updates from Ann Arbor in the Big Ten opener. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.